Evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. So tonight's update, Happy New Year, by the way. RIP to Ken Block, to Tony Phillips or Cody Phillips, the one that died in, who, the son of the guy who owns the White Supra, and to all the other racers and people who died so far since the New Year gone, and it's 3 days already. Can you imagine that? Time waits for no one, guys. Gotta get your bills done, make amends, do what you need to do with each other, love one another. Don't be listen to the BS in the world, and just keep motivated to do your build. All right, Jesse, got you. Anyway, so tonight's update, as I said, it's basically I just did some New Year cleaning, putting away tools, and put some stuff back into storage that I'm not using currently on the build, and just air out the space somewhat so I can, you know, get some space to work and move around and stuff. So with the intake side pretty much done, I just gotta finish all that band one, which is not important, um, and put the clamps on this side. I didn't do this clamp on the rest of the pipes for the fact that I might resell that intercooler, the Speed Factory intercooler. Not sure yet. Still up in the air on that. Because while I was doing this, I just remembered I could have just done a treadstone to the top right here, and then just this one side to feed, and then I wouldn't have all that extra piping. But it's okay, because my thing is I wanted short tubing, so then I would have greater response because the turbo is not big, which is fine because the motor is not built, so faster response, less, lag and boot, all that good stuff. So that's what I had originally wanted. So it's still up in the air on that note. I might do it, not too sure yet. Might just rock with this for now and change up the layout later. Um, Also, as far as the cleaning goes, I'm going to rearrange all this fuel setup, put the lines in the back, and then the feed will be on that side instead of that way, since it's by the heat and the turbo line. Don't want no lines, fire, gas, none of that. So I'm going to be putting back that fuel tank I made back over there. Then I'll weld the bar around it for safety purposes. Then the bottom will be secured by the diffuser, the splitter, and then splitter, not diffuser. And then all these stuff right here have to be implemented onto the build. So that's my power steering, Jegs power steering setup. I had it on this car prior. The fins are all banged up from just sitting in storage. It's N6 in and out. Got some good old Earl fittings right here. If the thing would ever... Oh, I got the light on anyway, so that's probably why you can't see. There we go. Okay, they are pressure fittings. Yes, it's low pressure side, but I just had them laying around from previous builds I was doing, and also from when I was doing the rack, because the rack is also unfitted underneath there with the same fitting. So, and I'm running Earl's pressure hose right here, so one line will go in, the other one will go out. I'm using the rubber hose from the stock line for the low pressure, and then that will get tied into it. I'm not sure yet where I'm running it, because if I run that stock line, then it's short, so odds are that power steering might be going on the side here, hanging down or welded on here, and then that line goes into it. I have enough pressure lines, so I could actually run it all the way over here somewhere. So we'll see where that goes. So yeah. So yeah, still up in the air and where this was going to go. I was actually going to mount it behind here. I also have to drop that CSF oil cooler down lower. I'll show you why in a moment. And then I was gonna weld this onto that bracket. I was also thinking of doing it like this, but then it will look tacky and detract from the piping here. So for now, I think I'll be welding it underneath here, off to the side, and I'll probably just make a ducting for it to feed air to it, or use knocker duct in the front bumper. We'll see. If not, I'll probably hang it right here, because for the headlights I'm going to be using some LED projector lights, not the stock headlights with carbon blanks, so I will have space behind it. So probably could go here too with a short knocker duct from the headlight right here. So plenty of ideas being tossed around, still not too sure what I'm doing yet. So all these things will be done in due time. They're not critical on the list of stuff to do at the moment, but they will be getting done in short order. So yeah, it will probably be mounted something like that, and then the lines will just come up from under here, and since it's a short line, bam, in here, and then the other line will just come up to the top one. Then it will hang there, plenty of air, and clear everything, not impeding anything. So that's a possibility right there. Next, the other dash 20 fitting, I currently have one under here. See if I can get the light in there. Okay, I have to move this turbo out the way. Okay, so get this bar out the way. Move that over there. And bam. So got a dash 20 out from the heads. This is supposed to be the return one. This goes. Gotta move some stuff. I have too much stuff on, just sitting idly on this motor in the way. Sorry for that. I know I'm a bad filmer. Like I said, I'm still working on getting a GoPro for better footage, so I can use my hands and not trying to be focused on moving stuff while filming. Okay, so get that out of the way. Sorry for my carelessness. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so now back over here. Okay, so this fitting goes on that extra dash 20 pipe that's down there. Move that over there. And so that goes there. I didn't cut this dash 20 line yet because the extra piece from it will be used to plumb this other 90 degree. So I purposely bought it extra long so I'll have enough play to be able to cut it. Try to get it down there. There we go. So yeah, plenty of clearance, doesn't interfere with the other pipe. It's just interference, so it would be there. The other one is just dirty, it's not scuffed, it's just dirty marks on it from sitting in the elements. So that will go there, and then it will run to that one. Once they're all tightened, the extra piece of dash 20 line you see there will go in between the two, and that will complete the out to the radiator, and then the other one will be in, which runs up to this one in the front, and that will complete my coolant line. As far as the stuff that was up here, this fitting is for this here fitting is for the feed from that fuel tank. That's quantum fuel systems -8 short one-way filter. I think it's still 10 micron, and then this will screw on there and it will feed the rail. Like I said, I'll be turning this end on that side, and then that fitting will be over here. So this will be like dropped here, and then it will run back down here to the tank. That will be that same tank you see inside there, which will be bolted back here, and this will be the return. So that's where that goes. So it actually goes here. I'm running two separate set of fueling, in the sense that that little short tank I made, which almost holds 5 gallon, will be sitting in the front here. It's really a drag racing setup I was making that for, because I want this car to be more than one purpose. So part drag, autocross slash road course. So I have my 10 gallon in the trunk, where the back seat is rather, and then this will be the drag racing tank slash autocross tank. I mean, yes, it's a lot of weight in the front. I probably won't be running much if I'm autocrossing, maybe 1 or 2 gallons or per run. So keep some of the weight off the nose. We'll see which one works out, either the back or the front. But for drag racing, that one is definitely going to be in the front, because these cars squat a lot when they launch. If you watch USP's car when he launches, so trying to take some of the weight off the back and put it on the front to keep the front down from lifting too much. That's why I put the tank in the front. Otherwise, it's also just a startup setup I'm making in the front, and then that will just fuel it temporarily while I get the car dialed and pre-tuned, because I'm gonna be part tuning it till I get it to what I know. Yeah, I'm learning as well. So that's my AM wideband for the LSU 4. I think this is a 4.2. I didn't buy the 4.9 setup yet. I'll probably get that next, because this standalone is made to work with either one, and I'm more likely gonna use this one for now for just this setup, and then eventually I switch to the 4.9. And then I have my O2 sensors ready to get welded on when I get the tubing for the exhaust and the wideband. I'll be running EGT on each of those pipes, one on each side. Not doing individual, but I'll do one on each side, and trying to run as much sensors as possible for basically all the outputs I have on the black. And then eventually I might get a breakout box to add more sensors, because when the 1.8 blew on me doing our mini autocross road course in Baderfield in Atlantic City, I was downshifting a lot to keep the car on boost. I was running the Eurodyne setup 630 file for the AEB 1.8T turbo, and I think starving G-forces while boosting caused my head to tap, and then the oil pump went because it wasn't changed, and series of stuff happened. The timing belt eventually let go, and the timing chain tensioner guide thingy in the back disintegrated, and then that's the end, she wrote. The head was screwed, bottom was so okay, but eventually I junked the whole block. So I didn't have any sensors back then running the Eurodyne. I didn't log or was logging every run. I was so busy having fun driving, so I didn't know what was going on with the motor. And when it started tapping, I thought just putting in oil would have solved it, and I kept going. So now I learned my lesson the hard way. So now I'm trying to put a sensor on everything. And speaking of sensors, I got from Ballinger Motorsports the fast acting IAT sensor. So I'm going to weld this on in addition to these fittings to the intake manifold. I have to go read, or someone in the comments want to tell me where this goes. No, when I had my Mitsu back in the day, everybody put this in the intake pipe. I was trying to keep the pipe clean, so I wasn't trying to put it on the pipe. If I do put it on the pipe, though, I'll probably put it on the bottom so it's like neat and tucked out the way, and then run the wire alongside the Bosch plug. So I probably do something like that, and then have the wires angle back this way and just put them in a loom together to keep it neat. If not, if it's something that can be welded, like the stock intake had the sensor underneath the bottom, if it's a case where I can weld it onto the intake, I would actually love to weld it here in the side. Reason being, the airflow is coming around the curve that way, and it's going to hit in the corner right here when it comes up around the bend and then washes out into the middle like that. So I was figuring if it's welded onto the side here, one, it will be neater. There's no space under the bottom unless I weld it on the other side, and then the wiring can go and get merged in the loom with the injectors running back that way and make it nice and neat. So if this is a place that it can be welded, let me know in the comments, and I'll quickly just punch a hole and weld it in and get that squared away. If not, if it has to be in the intake, like I said, more likely weld it underneath the bottom and run the wires that way. What else we're welding here? This dash 4 is for the map sensor, I think. And these two dash 10s, nice radius into the fitting, will be welded to this oil cooler, which is from the tuner for the B5. What's so special about the tuner version, I'll show you guys. Before I do that, it will be welded to the tip. I was going to do similar to what Soups did and cut it and weld it. My problem is I'm using this bandsaw, and you see all that cuttings, that's from just cutting a regular pipe. I don't want anything to get into the cooler and then it gets transferred into the motor. So luckily for me, the radius of that hole fits perfectly on here. Let's show it from a different angle. Zoom in, yeah. So it fits perfectly in there, and all I have to do is just filler rod it around, and I'll rather do it that way, so it will be on the cooler like that. The stick out is fine. I have plenty room down there to work with, so it will actually make my runoff hose to it shorter, which is perfectly fine to me because I'm running 245 10 degree dash 10 fittings on there. Okay, so that's where that's going. Now, what's so special about this cooler versus the stock one, because I do have the stock one on, if you observe, it's the same thing. However, look at, let me get a better angle for you guys. So that's the stock 2.8 oil cooler. Let me get this line out the way, because I want you guys to see what the big difference is, because the tuner sells some pretty awesome stuff. I try to look at when they come up with some new products and see what else they got coming up, but they have a really large inventory of stuff. You guys should definitely check them out. It's thetuner.com or 27motorsports.com. They're located in Europe. They're shipped real quick, and you know, quality stuff. So that's the stock one, and this is the tuner one. What's the difference? It's practically a third of this. Well, from edge to edge, it's that much shorter. It's that shorter, and it's more volume, and it's for like if you have tight spacing, or if you're running oil cooler lines or anything, and you have a tight front, especially in the B5S4 or the RS4 with the intercooler piping and stuff in the way. I think that's what they had originally made it for. So it is shorter by almost a half an inch, and fittings are in the same location, a bit angled slightly differently, but I think when you flip it around it matches this direction, but it doesn't matter because I'm welding dash 10 fittings on there. So let me do it from a different angle so you can see the actual width. So there you go. So as you see, it's about a half an inch shorter. So if you guys are interested in maximizing as much space you have and need to take advantage of short spacing, the tuner got this set up for you. It also comes with a shorter rod that goes through that you screw your oil filter onto, and they have the extension if you're trying to run like the 034 cooler with screws on to it, and then you have both oil and water cooling running as well. So that's another thing you guys can definitely check out. Great feature to have, I believe it is. So that's one of the reasons why I went ahead and got myself this setup. So yeah, it will replace that. If you're asking what's special about my little cover I had, this was just something that came to be. I didn't actually anticipate it being on this. It was actually a catch can I was making, and believe it or not, how's that? Wait, the oil filter is 4 inches, so it fits over my oil cooler, my oil filter, sorry. I'm tired, it's freaking 12 o'clock, I'm mixing up words now. So yeah, 4-inch aluminum tube helps prevent those scuffs you see here, and because this car is low, you don't want your oil filter getting too close to the ground scraping, or if you don't have a shield, you get it scratched or anything on here. And because it has the curl L on there, slides over. I was gonna put a strap on it and weld like 2 little bungs and do like what they do on the whatchamacallit, like they do on the bumpers back in the day with the O-ring. I was gonna do something like that just to keep it on, but yeah, I thought it was cool, so I was just surprised that it actually fit. So a 4-inch aluminum tube will fit over your radiator. Just figure out how to mount, I mean, your oil your oil filter. Just figure out how you're gonna clamp it. So with that, I think that's where we're at with the setup for the A4 for tonight. Oh, one more thing as I'm going down the list of stuff that I'm squaring away. So yeah, apart from the sensors and welding on those two fittings, got my Tomei fuel pressure regulator ready to go, AM sensor to log to the standalone. Still got to see what the hell's going on. My dash 10 return from the line, and my 6 return to the tank, and nipple. So all of that's done, ready to go. And with that there, I'm still waiting on MA Performance to ship. They shipped, but I'm just waiting on it to get here. It's estimated Thursday, so I'll have more content for you then. I'll be welding on the two hand fittings onto those pipes for the turbo drain, and then water drain, sorry, and then I'll start the exhaust piping, and that will be the next update for this build. So I ranted long enough. It's 26 minutes. So that's it for now, guys. Catch you in the next one. Like I said, I am cleaning up the garage. I got a lot of stuff, extra parts and stuff that I'll be posting up soon for sale that I originally was going to implement on this build that I'm not using. Some of the stuff is brand new. I got T4 fittings, T4 back housing from this turbo, because they originally came T4 undivided, so I then said scratch that instead of dealing with 4 bolts and I need to clock this thing constantly. Let me just go V-band. So I got that back housing. This is the 6762 turbo. I got T4 divided housing and undivided housing stainless steel. It's not from Ace Rare Sports, I think it's from Monkey Fab. I got those things for sale. I have the stock snub mount with Project B5 polyurethane snub mount thingy. What else I got for sale? I got a couple of oil coolers, never used. They've just been installed, but they were too small, so I had to upgrade it to the CSF one. Got those for sale. What else do I have? I'll go through the inventory. Like I said, I'll post up stuff. My mind is skipping now because I'm tired, so I'll figure out what else I have and let you guys know. So look out for the different stuff that will be posted soon, and don't forget, like, subscribe, share. Thanks guys, later.